what can individuals expect when coming to Grand Bahamas, and what is the campus environment like for the students?
There's palm trees and coconuts and conch shells, and it's all the stuff you'd expect. I will say, I'm kind of joking a little bit, but it's a beautiful environment. Freeport, which is on Grand Bahama, it's the second largest city in the Bahamas, and it's just right. It's not too big, it's not too small, and so it's the Goldilocks, kind of area in it. We have, hardware stores and big grocery stores, not exactly like the States, but fairly similar. And then we have fast food restaurants. We've got Wendy's and Burger King and Domino's, or I had Marco's Pizza. I had a calzone from Marco's for lunch. But there's kind of this, it's not quite as crazy and active as you might get in a big city in the States. So that can be really distracting. And so, here it's in Freeport, everything is 15 minutes away. So you can literally be on one side of Freeport and need to get to the other side, and it'll be less than 15 minutes. And so that's nice. I will say that, there are some things, it does help to have a car when you're here. Some students, we have a few students who ride bicycles. We've got a little army of moped riders too. And it's nice because, it's really, there's a lot of sunshine here, and they say 300 days a year of sunshine. That's been what I've experienced my 2+ years here. But it does rain, and when it rains pretty hard. And so it's nice to have a car when you have to get through the mud puddles and go to the grocery store and everything else. So, like I said, there's some American food, but there's also a lot of local Bahamian cuisine as well. I'm a huge fan of conch chowder. And I know a couple of places that have a really mean conch chowder, but just a lot of the seafood type things that you would expect. There's a lot of great restaurants where you get fresh fish. A lot of local fishers supporting those restaurants as well. As was mentioned earlier, right? It's only 27-minute flight over to the States, and there's not a ton of airlines that fly, but there's Bahamas Air, there's American Airlines, and a couple of smaller ones. But pretty much, you can get across, and it's funny because the plane never gets more than like 8,000 feet tall, high. I mean, there's no dinging of the bells or nothing. It's like, just sit down, put your seatbelt on, we'll be on the ground in a minute. And so it really makes it easy to get back and forth. And I know a lot of students and sometimes the faculty, we might just take a weekend and go over to Fort Lauderdale. We want things like tacos and Walmart. But which we don't have either one of those on the island. No good Mexican food, but it's easy to get over and get away. But I love it because you can have a hard day, either working hard or just life is stressing you out, and you go down to the beach and you watch the sunset. And I do this every evening with my dog, and I just have a peace and serenity that I haven't been able to find it after work anywhere else that I've been before. And so, the thing about the beaches is they're just not that crowded, and they're not that commercialized like you would see in Florida. So there's not 1,000 beach toys and 1,000 people and all this money grabbing, kind of paying stuff. It's a lot of local Bahamians, some students, and an extremely, extremely friendly culture. I really mean that. I every day I walk and everybody just comes out. They're just hi, and someone know your name. They all know my dog's name, and so I personally have fallen in love with Freeport. And the thing I love about the university coming here is that we are actually helping support the revitalization of Freeport after Hurricane Dorian hit. And so that was a pretty big. 2019 was a pretty big impact, but the island is really bouncing back, and we've been a great intellectual and financial stimulus for the island. Mm-hmm. I think that's great. And like I say, that the Bahamians are welcoming us, and they treat our students really great. And so I've got nothing but positive stuff to say about Freeport, and I'm happy. I'm very happy to live here.
Freeport really is the perfect place to, be doing medical school. It's not too slow, but it's also not too busy at all. There's plenty of food, restaurants, things to do. Like Mondays, I play pickleball. Fridays, I play beach volleyball. That's a good, hour and a half, 2-hour break to be out in the sun, getting some exercise, hanging out with other students. Sometimes some local people will come by too. And that's really great crossover. And then anytime you're just stressed or need a little break from studying, the beaches are right there. It's a perfect place to decompress, just kind of be in nature. And yeah, you're really not too distracted either. So there's plenty of time and reason to focus because there's not all this stuff going on that you feel like you're missing out on or could be doing. So it's great.
The beaches are definitely a wonderful place to go and relax, but you can also go and study there too. You can pop up a chair and just sit in the sun and do some studying for a little bit, just to find that way of kind of just decompressing too, and going to a lot of the local restaurants and such too. And I find that pretty much all the locals that I've met, they're very nice people. They're really kind. Though mostly all of them are aware of the medical school, so they know about it, and so you can have an open conversation with almost anyone here and kind of just travel around too, and just so you're not just stuck inside of just like a little cubicle studying. You can go outside. It's there.
On campus, we have a student lounge that's just not too far back behind our sim building, and we have a pool table, two foosball tables, a ping pong table, some TVs, a kitchen for the students. I think it's like 6 microwaves, that type of stuff, some refrigerators. So we've got that great leisure space for the students, and I'll see them on lunch, and they're playing pool, and they're working. I think they're working on physics, right? So they can understand eyeball mechanics.
Yeah.
But whatever they're doing, and I didn't want to mention that we also have some delivery on some food delivery. So there's De Gregory's is a restaurant that comes by every day during lunchtime, and you just place your order, by a certain time, and we have several other services which do deliveries to campus. So if you really just want to stay here and keep at it, then we've got some time for you to play a quick game of ping pong, eat a nice Caesar salad, and then you're back in either session or back to